What's up, Wolfpack fam? It's your boy Kid back at it again. Hope you're doing well. Continuing my journey of Dad's Army alongside Captain Mannering and the rest of the boys. What adventures are going to be happening on this week's episode? I got to stay tuned to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. This will not be the only time you hear it, but snacks is not included. Damn it, you got to bring your own. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Free to do. Helps out the channel tremendously. Thank you to those who do those things. And shout out to the patrons as well. Let's get it. Snacks not included. Let's freaking go.
Brown goes off to town on the A21, but he comes home each evening and he's ready with his gun. So who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done?
Well, here it is. How do you like it?
Oh, yes, that's much better.
Hasn't he done it well, sir?
I couldn't make the name any bigger or it wouldn't go on the board.
No, that's quite adequate.
Of course, I could have done tall, thin letters, but that wouldn't be right.
Why not?
Oh, no. I like the lettering on the outside of the door to be in keeping with the person sitting in the desk behind. So I've done little short fat letters.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blewett.
Right, sir. Well, the men are ready for inspection, sir.
Right, well, I'll finish this later.
Right.
This is my speech for the Rotary dinner. I'm to be the guest speaker, you know.
Are you ready? Oh, how very exciting for you, sir.
Are the men in good heart?
What? Well, as a matter of fact, they seem to be, you know, just a little bit quiet.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'll soon put that right. Now, I've been reading a book lately called Great Leaders of Men. And, you know, Wilson, there's one thing that they all had in common.
Yes.
Before their men went into battle, they used to tell them a joke.
Ah. We're not going into battle, are we?
We are on the front line every minute of our lives here.
Tell them.
Spot. Hand!
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know you'd started.
Well, now, that's it. In view of the long night ahead of us, I thought that I would relieve the proceedings by cheering you up with a little anecdote. And when I finished, you have my permission to laugh in the ranks.
How nice.
But don't anticipate it, Godfrey. Take that smile off your face.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Now, it appears that there were 3 Tommies. A Welshman, an Englishman, and a Scotsman.
Hold on.
And
Hold on, Captain Manning, hold on. I hope this is not another of these stupid jokes about kilts. Tell you, sir, as a Scot, I am sick and tired of hearing stupid Sassenach jokes that make a mock of us. After all, we don't make jokes about bowler hats.
will you be quiet, Fraser? Nothing to do with kilts. Where was I up to?
A Welshman, an Englishman, and a Scotsman, sir.
All right. Now, it seems that these 3 Tommies were sitting in their mess hall, and the Englishman said to the Scotsman, "Pass the semolina pudding." And the Scotsman said, "No, I won't." And the Englishman said, "Why not?" And the Scotsman said, "Because it states quite clearly in King's regulations, never help another soldier to desert." Desert, you see? It's about... Well, you can laugh. I thought that'd cheer you up. That's put them in a good mood.
Oh, yes, of course, sir. I'm sure it's cheered them up no end.
Tip worth knowing that, you know, Wilson. When you're handling men, always know when to unbend.
I'll remember that, sir.
Right.
Captain Mainwaring.
Yes?
What happened to the Welsh soldier?
Perhaps he didn't like semolina.
There we go.
Sir, Mr. Speaker, I hope you don't think because we didn't laugh very much we was casting aspersions on your joke-telling, sir. It wasn't that at all.
No, you told it quite well, really.
Oh, yes, indeed. Very good it was, man. After the parade, I shall write it down and send it to Radio Fun. They pay £half-a-crown for a joke like that. Or 5 bob if it's a good one. It's just that at the moment, sir, we're not much in the mood for merrymaking and horseplay.
Oh, come, that's not like an old soldier. Tommy Atkins was always one for a laugh, even when he was up to his chin in mud.
Ah, you're right there, sir. We did a lot of laughing in the mud in the last war. We was doing it nearly all the time.
except when we got shot. Good night is different, so we've been wrestling with our consciences, and over an incident what occurred last night, and my sex and me said we'd like to take you into a private place and reveal something.
Well, surely it'll be soon enough after the parade, won't it?
You're quite right, Captain, quite right. I tell you here and now he's making a flagpole out of a matchstick. And bringing you into it, well, it's only making things 10 times worse.
No, it's only fair, Mr. Fraser. I mean, after all, Captain Mainwaring's the one who'll be court-martialed.
Yeah.
What's that? Court-martialed? I think, Jones, your section better come into the office. You better come too, Wilson.
All right.
That's it.
Frank, what on earth have you all been doing?
Well, if I tell you, will you promise not to tell Mum?
Of course not, no.
Well,
Yes?
no, I can't. It's a secret.
Right, come along. Else, settle down. Now, what's all this about?
Well, so it's like this, sir. It was very cold out on patrol last night, wasn't it, lads?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah, no, I knew you wouldn't want us to get chills, sir, so I took my lads into the horse and groom and made sure everyone got a tot of rum down them, sir. I know you've done the same thing in my position, sir.
I very much doubt that, Jones. You know my views on alcohol.
Yes, sir. Well, we hadn't been out on patrol again for 10 minutes when Mr. Cheeseman, he started shivering.
Well, you know what it is when you got the nadgers, boy. You shiver all over, isn't it?
But I knew you wouldn't want a guest of the platoon anything to happen to them, sir, especially not a newspaper press correspondent and reporter, sir. So I took him into the King's Heads, and it's just as well I did, because after he'd downed a couple, he was right as ninepence.
I only had one in there.
Well, when we come out, sir, we out the King's Head, we were just passing the goat and compasses, and the landlord, he come out, he said, you heard a bit of a rumbling down below. So I sent a couple of men down with hand grenades, and the rest of us stood by to give them covering fire.
Whereabouts?
2 in the saloon, the rest of us in the snow.
Well, you did quite right to tell me about this.
Yeah.
And providing you promise that it won't occur again, I shall overlook it this time.
The man's no finished.
I mean, there's more.
Yes, sir. Well, when we come out, sir, it got a bit embarrassing, sir.
If it's embarrassing, you don't want to hear about it, do you, sir?
Yes, I certainly do want to hear about it. Go on.
It was I, sir. I'm afraid I became rather embarrassing.
You Godfrey.
I'm afraid so, sir. I started to sing rather raucously.
It was a song about a monk.
Well, as long as it was a religious song.
This one wasn't religious. No.
About a monk of high renown.
I see. Go on.
I didn't realise that monks of high renown were all wicked like that.
That's
Did
all
you?
right, Frank. Stop it.
Yeah, well, I knew you wouldn't want Mr. Godfrey to, make an exhibition of himself, so I took him inside to sober up, sir.
Inside the Red Lion, that was.
And mind you, while he was sobering up, the rest of us had hardly anything to drink at all. Hardly anything at all, sir.
Yeah. You see, it was after that that it got a bit more embarrassing.
You're quite sure you want to hear about it, sir?
Will you be quiet, Wilson?
Yes. Well, you see, a man come in and said there was something going on in a haystack, you see, sir. And I said in jocular fashion, well, there's lots of things going on in haystacks.
Aye, well, it's like that Bronwyn Jones, the fat Welsh girl who used to wash the glasses on a Saturday night. She spent half her life in that haystack. They used to call her the Welcome in the Valley.
Please, man, keep quiet, heaven's sake.
You see, well, all jocular thoughts went straight out of my head when I realised I was a soldier and my duty to go out and investigate, sir.
Well, I'm glad somebody came to their senses at last.
Yes, and then I sobered up quick as a flash. Not that I was drunk, mind. But the thought of encountering a huge, storming, parachuting German paratrooper, sir, possibly disguised as a nun, that sent a whole shiver down my spine, sir. But I rallied my men, sir, and went out in the murky night, and with fixed bayonets, sir.
I wasn't at all frightened. No, I think that gin and cider and whiskey must give you courage, don't you?
Come along.
Anyway, so we were just going near the haystack when something flutters up, and I was very alert by now, sir, and my reflections was very good. All of a sudden, I raised my rifle and I shot it.
What? You haven't, you? Don't mean you shot Bronwyn Jones.
No, no, it was a great big enormous turkey. It's plucked and in my fridge.
I can hardly believe my ears. My platoon should go out on a drunken rampage like this from pub to pub. Like these comic stories that chap on the wireless tells.
Rob Wilton? The day war broke out.
Why are you doing it? Be quiet.
Again,
You're under charge. And you're getting far too cheeky, boy. Speak to your mother about you.
That's not fair. I'm being victimised because of my youth. Why don't you have a word with Mr. Jones, Mother?
We'll leave my mother out of this. My mother's gone to another place.
Sorry, Mr. Jones.
Angmering.
Oh,
how many people know about this?
Not many. She wasn't a woman, Dad.
I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about this drunken rampage.
Nobody knows but us, sir. So I say we should eat the turkey and hold our tongues.
Oh, no, not at all. There's only one place that bird could have come from, and that's the North Berrington Turkey Farm. Now, you're all going to apologize to Mr. Boggis, and you're going to have to pay for that bird.
Gobble, gobble.
I say, excuse me. Mr. Boggis about?
It's Wednesday.
What's he say?
He says it's Wednesday.
To humour him, I suppose. I wonder if it's possible to speak to your master.
I just told you. It's Wednesday.
Well, it's Wednesday.
Don't you start.
It's market day.
Has he got to market? That's right. It's Wednesday.
There's nowhere. Have you lost a turkey?
Hard to say, isn't it?
Not
My
wrong.
men have accidentally killed one. We think it must have come from here. We'd like to pay you for it. Will you give this money to Mr. Boggis when he returns and ask him to accept our sincere apologies?
Oh, no. Mr. Boggis won't want me to take no money. It might not be his turkey.
Well, there's nobody else in the district keeps them. It must be one of yours.
That wouldn't be good enough for Mr. Boggis. Not unless he knew one of ours was missing.
Well, how many should there be?
210.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Jones, that's no good. It'll take years.
We could count 30 each.
That's a good idea, Pike. Now, listen, everybody. We're all going to count 30 turkeys each, right?
I tell you, 15, 20. It looked like a dog.
Well, get on with it. You are part of this platoon, you know.
Well, how do we know we're not counting the same turkeys?
Took a long time to spot that one, didn't it?
Captain Manrin, why don't we put a dab of paint on each turkey as we count?
Mr. Boggis wouldn't like that. He don't like people painting his turkeys.
My sister Dolly has a lot of hoopla rings we used at the church fete. Now, if we put one on each one of the turkeys, we know which ones we counted.
That's a very good idea, Godfrey.
Shall I nip and fetch them?
Yes, run along.
Run.
Now, men, you have each got 42 rings. On the command move, I want you to place a ring over a turkey's head. If there's a ring over at the end, it means that one turkey is missing. Right, off we go.
Oh my God.
I say, don't do that.
Mr. Manrin, all their heads are not up, so we can't put the rings on.
I suppose we'll have to wait till the turkeys finish lunch.
Well, all the rings were used up, so it didn't come from there.
Yeah.
Point is, what are we going to do next?
Well, sir, there's Jonesy shot it. I mean, I suppose it rightfully belongs to him.
No, he was on duty. He's wearing one of my uniforms, carrying one of my rifles, and he fired one of my bullets.
I see, but does that mean you're bagging it, sir?
No, it doesn't mean I'm bagging it. Not all of it, anyway.
In that case, I bags it.
No, I'm afraid you can't do that.
Yes,
See, I bagged it first.
But you said you didn't want it. Anyway, you didn't use the word bags, you see, so it doesn't count.
Now, don't start any of that public school cheating with me.
I bags first, that's all.
But I said you'd already
Don't doubt about it at all. I'm
Come in. Yes, what is it?
Captain Manager, sir, my section and me, sir, we've been having a hard think. And we're very askance at what we've done, sir. And we come to the conclusion that with our ill-gotten gains, we're going to give a nice turkey dinner to the old age pensioners.
Hear that, Wilson? Trust our chaps to come up trumps in the end.
Yes, I think on the face of it, it seems to me to be a very good idea.
It's a capital idea. Yes. Be a night to remember. But it must be organised properly. Now, Wilson, I want you to set up a turkey dinner general purposes committee.
All right, sir.
And I back chairman. Now, in order to speed our deliberations, I have made a short list of the elements that have to come together to make a successful turkey dinner.
God, trust him to make it long-winded.
Now, first of all, we have the turkey, which Corporal Jones's section has provided.
Yeah, I heard about that. What did you do? Fix bayonets and charge?
Now, don't you start, Mr. Owen, don't you start. He's a troublemaker, he is, sir.
I don't understand why he has to be here at all.
Mr. Hodges has booked the hall for this evening. It's only because he released it that you could have this meeting at all.
I think we ought to propose a vote of thanks to Mr. Hodges. Don't you, Your Reverence?
No, I don't. Please sit down, otherwise we shall be here all night.
Now, when times were different, of course, turkey dinners would also include bacon, sausages, vegetables, roast potatoes, bread sauce, and last but not least, gravy.
Yeah. Did you save the giblets? It makes lovely gravy, giblets does, with a pinch of salt.
Yes, I think we saved the giblets.
Of course I saved the giblets.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's all give a vote of thanks to Mr. Jones for saving the giblets.
Don't you start.
No,
all right.
Uncle Arthur, what's giblets?
Really, I mean, it's the inside of the turkey, isn't it? It's the liver, the kidneys, and all that, you know, and the, what do you call it, the gizzard, all that sort of thing.
Well, I don't want gravy made out of that.
Huh?
Don't be so silly, Frank. You've had it dozens of times.
Well, I wouldn't have if I'd known.
My sister Dolly won't boil the giblets. She says the smell makes the Pekingese too excited.
You know, that's very funny now, because my cat is like that about kippers, you know. It makes them jump around and run about and get all excited and...
Can we get on?
Yes, I quite agree. Don't let's get tied up with giblets at this stage of the affairs. We ought now to select someone, a volunteer preferably, to cook the turkey.
My mum could cook it. And Mum can cook anything, can't she, Uncle Arthur?
Well, answer the boy.
Yeah, yes, of course, yes, of course you can, Frank. Of course you can.
Well, Mrs. Fox is the finest cook what I've ever come across. Haven't I always said you were the finest cook, Mrs. Fox?
Well, you've always been very nice about my dumplings.
Hey!
Perhaps we should put it to the vote. All those in favour of Mrs. Pikes cooking the turkey? 1, 2. Mrs. Fox? Well, a tie. In that case, I shall give the casting vote to Mrs. Fox.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? You didn't even put your hand up, did you, Arthur?
Now, look, Mavis, you see, I didn't want you to have to go through all that trouble, you see.
That's nice, isn't it? Nice way to thank you, isn't it? She gave you her egg for breakfast this morning.
Mavis, listen, Mavis.
Wilson, will you please address your remarks through the chair?
Right, through the chair, I did not know it was Mrs. Pike's egg.
Can we get on? Perhaps you won't make it dry. My pensioners don't like it dry.
Turkey can be very dry. I second that.
Oh, be quiet, Mr. Yeatman.
Well, when we was in the Sudan, we cooked an ostrich once, but that wasn't dry, because we boiled it in General Kitchener's bath. In the morning, when he come to do his ablutions, he sent for his backman. He said, "Come in, my man. What is this ring of dirt doing round my hip bath?" "That isn't a ring of dirt, sir. That is ostrich fat." And he gave him 7 days field confinement for impertinence. But he told the truth, didn't he? Yeah. Doesn't always do to tell the truth, you know. Doesn't always do...
All right, all right. Thank you very much. Now, what do we do next?
Sir, stuff it.
What do you say, Fraser?
Stuff it, sir, stuff it. So you'll need to stuff it with parsley and thyme or maybe chestnuts.
Very well, then. Thyme and parsley it is. Perhaps you'd like to undertake that task, Mrs. Pike.
Of course.
Right, that's decided then.
My wife makes very tasty parsley and thyme stuffing.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Yate, but we just decided that Mrs. Pike is going to do the stuffing.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Bread sauce, you must have bread sauce, boy. It makes turkey go down a fat treat, it does. Yes, indeed.
Yes, especially if it's dry.
But it's not going to be dry.
Yeah, Mrs. Fox makes beautiful bread sauce.
There shouldn't be too much onion in the bread sauce. Onion isn't good for old people.
Make them excited, do it like the Pekingese.
Don't you start being rude to Mr. Godfrey. He's a very wise man.
Here, and another thing. Napoleon, is Corporal Jones serving the turkey as home guard or eating it as a pensioner?
That's it, I've had enough.
Here comes.
Sit down. Yes, all right, sir, all right. It's no... Sit.
Oh, my God.
Now, with the exception of Mr. Blewett, we shall all be serving, of course. I shall supervise, but I'm afraid I shall have to leave a little early on that night because I'm guest speaker at the Rotary dinner.
So that's why you sent your tickets back?
Quiet. However, we can't do anything about serving the bird, of course, before it's cooked, so we mustn't leap ahead too fast.
Too fast? God blimey, you'll only be halfway through talking before the time to bung the bird in the oven.
Can we turn our attention to the gravy?
Oh, my wife makes good gravy. Oh, damn right. Everything else is burnt to a cinder. But the gravy, you never tasted anything like it. Life has its compensations, that's what I say.
Oh, Lord. Can we get on?
Yeah, we are getting on, Wilson. Right, we'll put Mrs. Cheeseman down then to make the gravy.
Right, old boy.
Right. Now, that brings me to the vegetables. Vegetables pose rather a bigger problem, if I may say so. Not only on account of their availability, but because of the sheer bulk of material involved. First in cooking.
Yes.
That's it.
There you are, love.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser.
You're putting too many on, you know. It won't go round.
Well, according to my calculations, we've only got 4 more to serve, sir.
Yeah, don't splash. I don't want anything on my tail.
Oh, sorry, sir, but the way you've got yourself covered up, I don't think there's much chance of that.
Yes, there we are, boy.
There we are. There's too much onion in it, in spite of my warning.
Aye. And the gravy's too thick. I mind when I was a wee bit laddie on the wild and lonely Isle of Barra. My mother made gravy. It was thin and weak. And my father used to belt us regular as clockwork every night. But it made men of us.
Come on, hurry up. The first ones will be finished before the last ones are served.
Are you eating?
What if I am?
This is for the old people, not for you.
Well, it's only a bit of old skin.
Right, Mr. Manager. It's Mr. Blewett, sir.
What's the matter with it?
He wonders if you can put it through the mincer.
You haven't got a mincer here? Cut it up for him.
Right, very good, sir.
Mr. Mainwaring?
Yeah?
Some of them are asking what's happened to the parson's nose.
Now, look here, Pike. I can't be bothered with details like that. I've got 32 dinners to serve.
Only asked.
Incidentally, it is missing, but I thought I'd turn a blind eye to it.
Captain Mainwaring, this whole affair is not well organised at all. They all started to eat as soon as their plates arrived.
Well, of course, otherwise it would go cold.
But it's not right. Before I even started to say for what we're about to receive, half of them had received it.
I'm not having that. He's got all white meat. I haven't got any.
Oh, well, we soon put that to rights. There you are. There's a bit of white meat.
Mr. Jones! Mr. Jones! Mrs. Garstang says, have you got anything else? Because she doesn't eat turkey.
Well, if she doesn't like turkey, she shouldn't come to a turkey dinner, should she?
No!
Well, there we are. That's the last one.
Good. My goodness me, sir. You really do look awfully smart.
Well, after all, I am the guest speaker.
Yeah.
Just because there's a war on, we can't let our standards drop, can we? Do you think I should go and say a few words of welcome before I go?
Well, sir, I really think you ought to let them digest their turkey first.
Oh, no. That'd make me late for the rotary dinner.
Oh, I
I go and see. How are you getting on, Bob?
Yes.
All right?
Not eating up.
Ramming it down a while. Oh, Mr. Slater, enjoying yourself?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Manning. Very jolly. Salt, Dave, it's got no salt in it. Hey, can I have some salt, please, waiter?
Mr. Manning, Mr. McCulley says, are there any seconds?
Oh, no.
Stupid boy, look what you've done.
No, stupid. Don't put the gravy on the side of the plate, stupid, not me.
It's the only shirt I've got.
Excuse me, sir. There's some blotting paper in the office. I'll go and get that. That'll take it off.
Hot water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Manning, if I got gravy all over you, Dickie.
It is not a dicky, Pikes.
There you are, sir. Now, you try this, sir.
Careful, Wilson.
There you are, sir. There you are. It's much better. Much, much better. You see, you can hardly notice it.
Oh, look, you've got a little mark on your dicky, Mr. Mandarin.
It is not a Dickie, he said so.
Well, never mind, I know. We'll put a little bit of white enamel paint on that. And that won't notice, and it'll stop it from obtruding, won't it?
More gravy wanted for the top table.
All right, won't be a minute.
Now do it very carefully.
There we are. There we are. There. That's right. There. See? There, that doesn't show now, does it?
Oh, really, Jones?
Anyone got any black paint?
This is ridiculous. I can't get on my feet as the guest speaker with paint all over my tails.
I've got some at home, sir.
Oh, they wouldn't fit, Uncle Arthur. No, not somebody as round as Mr. Mannering.
I think I have the answer, sir. Why don't you pretend you've hurt your arm and make a sling out of your scarf?
Good idea, son. I'll cover up the mark of treat.
Yeah, go on, you give it a try, Mr. Manning. I'll make you look very, very brave during your speech.
Jones is right, you know, sir. I mean, if you wince, you know, every now and again, I mean, you'll get twice the applause at the end.
That's right, sir. There you are. Nobody will ever know.
Yes, and you look very brave, Mr. Mandarin.
Yes, well, I'm really very cross. However, just like our boys to show resourcefulness in an emergency. Help me up with my coat.
Good luck, sir. Ah, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
And don't you worry, you look fine.
Good luck, Mr. Mannering. And I'm not a stupid boy, am I?
No, I'm very sorry about that, Pike.
Here, you're bringing that gravy here, aren't you?
It's not his fault, man. Pike, you stupid boy. And we've been enjoying the cheese man on this episode. Quite a funny guy. Maybe a nice little duo with him and Godfrey, man. When they were going back and forth about in the table, man, that shit was funny as hell. We're going to talk about it. Hold on a second. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And man, the freaking... We'll talk about it. Hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, number one, thank you so much for hanging out. I don't know about you all, but who's hungry, man? Because this episode left me a bit hungry for a turkey dinner. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. That's just not included. You got to bring your own. God damn, man. That was a great, fun episode. Really was enjoying Cheeseman with Godfrey's interactions. I thought quite the little duo right here. And how long do you think it took Godfrey to get the, I guess, like what the ring to go around the turkey? How long do you think it took? Because when he was telling him to, yeah, go ahead, run along, I'm thinking that shit gonna take quite some time for my boy Godfrey. But I enjoyed it. You're hearing that these guys going around all these pubs. It's, you know, this is a long ass story. You know, you got Wilson essentially telling, Captain Manning, you sure you want to be hearing this? Go on, let them tell their story, man. You sure you want to hear this, man? And it just kept going on and on and on. And eventually you come to this conclusion that these guys, not this guy, Jonesy shot a turkey, man. So this was crazy here. And when they had that scene where these guys are essentially, chasing the turkey, I couldn't help but think, I know it's not the same, it's not the same scenes and shit like that, but man, I was getting flashbacks in my brain to Rocky when he's chasing the damn chicken, going around chasing the, just got to insert some, Rocky kind of music there with these guys, chasing the turkeys, man. You got quite the spectacle there. So I was enjoying that moment there. The table scene was crazy. It was funny, when you have all this huge gathering of people. But one line that Mr. Blue had said when they were actually eating and shit. Well, listen, when Captain Mannering took, to his, fancy attire, it definitely looks like a waiter for a second. So when Mr. Blue was like, yo, I'm going to say it in my way. Yo, waiter, pass the salt, man. I thought that was crazy, man. And then you got two guys that tend to be in hot water. You got Pike in hot water with Captain Mannering constantly. He didn't very much like that he called him a stupid boy, man. And in this case, at the ending portion, you gotta blame the damn warden. That freaking warden is impatient, man. He stay bitching, man. He came in like 2-3 times, man. I'm like, yo, bro, man. But it obviously created a funny ass moment. But we enjoy him kind of like, stirring the pot, pissing these guys off, or pissing, Captain Mannering or Napoleon a lot. And, he sometimes, man, he's like, man, I don't blame Jonesy for wanting to go around that damn table and wanting to whoop his ass, man. Not once, but twice he was about to get up, man, because again, like, he stirs the pot. He's definitely winding people up, which again, he always does a phenomenal job. He ticks me off sometimes as well. And, that is just a sign. Great acting. He is, he owns that character, as the warden, man. He's so good, so funny. But you got two guys in hot water. Not only you got my boy Pikey, but you also got Wilson, because, man, he didn't even vote for her cooking. So either her cooking is not as good, or, I think, like he was saying, I was trying to, not make you do work. Either he's that considerate, or her cooking is not so good there. But he's in the doghouse. Hey, why don't you say it? Answer the boy about my cooking and shit. So she was getting kind of pissed off there, and it was great to see her. We enjoyed Mrs. Fox and shit, and then that dumpling line was great, man. Yes, you got some nice dumplings, man. But Mr. Jones, he likes my dumplings, So I thought that line, I'm not doing it correctly, but oh man, it was so good, and just to see all of them in a good gathering atmosphere for a good time, for pensioners. I thought it was a great idea of, on their part. And they do come up with some really good ideas to make use of, the situation. But when they were going around, they're talking about this story about the bars and shit, and basically going bar to bar and stuff. I couldn't help think of The World's End, man. And, them going bar hopping and shit. So I thought that was quite the story. Got Frasier like, shh. You know, because you got Pikey was going a little bit too crazy in the early portion of the episode. But, man, we really do have a good set of lads. These guys are all funny. Jonesy telling these damn stories, you know, these long-ass stories. And, man, it's funny as hell. And, yeah, just absolutely just enjoy the episode. Still plenty of smiles to be had. We've enjoyed Cheeseman on this episode, Godfrey, obviously Jonesy going, you know, crazy there. And it's nice to have some of the ladies there. You got the Vergers, Mrs. as well, too. Can we start this shit, essentially? You know, she said it like 2 times, man. Wilson getting kind of fed up too, man. Like, are we going to wrap this up, man? And they had a nice little conversation, too, with, you know, when he talks about his education and shit and bagging or whatever early on and stuff. Mannering got upset with that moment there, but then he used it. So it's so funny how this shit, you know, he gets upset, but then he'll still apply it to his benefit there. And, you know, he always has that kind of line, well, I was waiting to see when you were going to say something to Wilson. So great moments, funny laughs. We love when Mannering is getting upset. It is a joy, man. It's such fun to see him. Obviously, we love these characters to pieces. The adventures are still to be had. We got more to be checking out, so stay tuned. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this turkey dinner episode. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Free to do. Helps out the channel tremendously. And shout out to the patrons as well. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for tuning on in, and we'll see you soon. Peace out. Take care. Be well. All the best. Peace.